everyone, thank you so much for coming back and joining me, and tonight I'm going to be doing my predictions of Stranger Things Season 4, which is why kind of at the end of my review of Season 3 I didn't really sort of go into it too much. I've got my notes in front of me of everything that I wanted to sort of go through of my predictions, and I'd be really interested to know down below in the comments what your predictions are for Season 4 of Stranger Things. Now the first thing that I want to talk about is, one of the big ones, which is Chief Hopper. Like I said in my review, I definitely am like 100% sure he's not dead. I mean, of course he's not. But if you can remember in, at the very end where it was in the Russian prison and one of the Russians actually said, I can't remember exactly word for word, I've only watched the season once guys, something like leave the American or not the American or something like that, leave the American. So that I think was Chief Hopper. But also if you think about it, when Joyce looked over at him and she had one arm to the right and one arm to the left and she looked away, even if he did escape in the door behind him, which is what I think actually happened because there was a door right behind his shoulder, she wouldn't have actually have seen that. So I honestly think that he escaped through that door and then that's how the Russians captured him. Because if you think, throughout the season, even the kids, being in the Russian lab, there was Russians literally everywhere they went. They were everywhere, so it's very easy to get captured. So, no matter what door you go out, you're very likely to be captured by a Russian. But also, I have a small thought as well that it could be very possible, which I didn't really want to get into in my review because I wanted to get into it in my prediction video, that Hopper could actually be in the Upside Down. There is a good chance of that. So, we could be seeing the Upside Down either way. I think whether Hopper is in the Upside Down or not, I think that we could somehow definitely, see them go into the Upside Down for, whatever reason. But one thing I wanted to really get to, which is a theory I have with Elle, but it's in relation to Hopper. I think that it was very strange how Elle lost her powers pretty much at the end of Season 3. And I think that the reason why she lost her powers was so that she wouldn't have been able to, see and then go and be able to save Hopper. So it's very strange that at the last sort of minute she lost her powers. So that could actually be the reason why, because if she hadn't have lost her powers, she would have then been able to both see Hopper and then be able to go and save him. But she wasn't able to do that because, you could even see her at the end, Mike had to lift her teddy bear when she was moving with Joyce and she was, trying to, get her teddy bear from the top of the wardrobe and she couldn't. So I honestly think that that is why. Now the Duffer Brothers led us to believe as viewers that the reason why it happened is because, she maybe, burnt herself out and, Mike had, kept on warning her that that actually could happen. But I think that was to kind of toy with us to make us think that that's why she lost her powers. But I'm not believing that. I think that that was Duffer Brothers' good way of trying to fool us. But I think it's 100% because of Hopper. And I think that in Season 4 we're going to see Elle get her powers back, but it'll probably be sort of a bit slowly. She'll just get them back sort of bit by bit slowly. I think in Season 4, of course they're all going to be on a mission to go and save Hopper. But I also think that there is a possibility that Dr. Brenner will return, who of course we know from Season 1. And I think that that is possible. I'm not saying it's 100% possible, but I just have a small feeling. So I'm kind of like 20% certain that he might. There is a possibility. I don't know whether he will or not, but that is just my thought anyway, that there is a small chance that his character could return in Season 4. Now, because of how Hopper's, character went, at the end of Season 3, when we were led to believe, that he had died or whatever, of course this season is going to be heavily based, on the Russians and, especially from, the credit scene that was seen and everything. It is definitely going to be massively based on the Russians, which I'm happy about. I love the third season, so I think that it's going to be interesting to sort of see more of that, in my opinion. And I think that, how Elle moved away with Joyce, I think when she slowly starts to get her powers back, and then if she's able to see Hopper, then she will have that discussion with Joyce, and then there'll be, you know, like a whole, you know, sort of closeness with them two. And I think them two are going to team up a lot in this season, of course, in order to go and save Hopper from the Russians. Now, another prediction that I have, and it's a woke alert, just like in my review, because of the nonsensical pandering with the character that I did not like in any shape or form in season 3, was Robin. Now, I want to just quickly, before I go anywhere, what I think is going to happen is the Duffer Brothers did not need to do what they did with Robin's character. They done it for woke, they done it for diversity, they done it to, you know, appease a certain audience. I don't think they realise the big audience that they are actually trying to cater to. This show is a sci-fi series based in the 80s. I'm a bit confused at what massive audience they think they're actually catering to. But I think that was a bad decision what they done, because they threw it in there in the episode before the end, the 7th episode, and it was just, you know, a very quick conversation, you know, between her and Steve in the toilets, and it made no relation to the story, made no relation to the series of Stranger Things, to this show, and I just don't know why they done it. There was none of that in season 1, there was none of that in season freaking well 2, so what we're going to be getting is we're going to be getting more wokeness, I think. And, you know, there was a massive clue that was dropped with Will about him, you know, pretty much his sexuality. He's going to be gay, of course he is, most likely. I hope that don't go down that route, because it's not going to suit the show of Stranger Things, because we've seen it in season 3. It didn't suit the show when Robin, you know, there was pandering there, sorry. But I think when Mike, played by Finn Wolfhard, when he said to Will, you know, something like, oh, it's not my fault that you don't like girls, or something like that, right? Well, he was actually asked in an interview, I'm really sorry guys, I was reading this today on my phone, sitting outside in the sun, so I can't remember exactly what the article was, but either way, he was pretty much asked, you know, what about that line, what do you think about it and everything? And pretty much Finn Wolfhard said, you know, I don't know whether that meant anything about his sexuality, but, you know, it's up to the Duffer Brothers, and it's their decision what they do and what to do with his character. So that's, I'm not saying that that's him saying that will be, but what I'm trying to say is that there was no there, you know, so maybe it could be that he knows what everything that's happening in season 4, because apparently Millie Bobby Brown knows everything that's happened in season 4 that's going to be happening. I just thought that sentence was a bit out of place. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine someone actually saying that to their friend. It seems very off. What was the reason for him actually saying that? What was the purpose? Where was that line in that scene actually going? And I know some people, you know, are probably sort of thinking, well, no, it was in relation to him not being able to sit and play, you know, Dungeons and Dragons for the rest of his life with his friends in Mike's house. But I'm sorry, no, that doesn't even make any sense, because that's what he would have said then. He would have just said, oh, it's not my fault that you want to, you know, sit and play Dungeons and Dragons forever, or it's not my fault that you don't want to hang about with us, you know, because, you know, I'm busy with Elle, or, you know, whatever. You wouldn't actually go out of your way to say because you don't like girls or something like that, or it's not my fault you don't like girls. And it just seemed fair to place them two on their own when that scene happened, and it was a personal thing between them two. And that was a massive clue, I'm sorry. So I think, here's my predictions, guys, right? And you can come back to this video when season 4's out. Will likely be gay, and they'll not do it till about mid to the end of season 4. Your woman Robin, her character, she got a job in that video store. She will be flirting with all the girls in that video store. She'll probably pick up a girl from the video store, and she'll have, you know, a lesbian relationship in her storyline. Then we will have Will finding it difficult knowing that he's gay, and he'll talk to his brother Jonathan about it, and then he'll finally tell his mum Joyce toward the end of the season, and then you know, he'll hug his mum and all that, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think that we're up for wokeness in season 4, and I think it'll be so sad if that's what we do get, because as I said earlier in this video, it's just not going to suit the show. Something else that I wanted to really quickly bring up, guys, which isn't so much a prediction, but it's something that you're going to see. I mean, I noticed, I can't even really remember Joyce smoking in season 3, and if she did, it was maybe only once or twice. I'm trying to remember, and as well Hopper wasn't really smoking that much either, because I actually read an article well over a week ago, probably more so like a week and a half ago, and it was actually an article talking about, you know, the smoking on, you know, set, and that they're going to be cutting back on it. But that is ridiculous, and if the Duffer Brothers have actually caved into that, like, why is the frig up? Seriously, Duffer Brothers, like, what are you doing? In the 80s, what did a lot of people do? What did a freaking ton of people do? Smoked. What did you see in a ton of 80s movies? People smoking. So if you're going to be throwing in things like, you know, awesome classics like Back to the Future, and throwing in 80s references and throwing in tons of awesome 80s music like Foreigner and things like that, right? You cannot then go to yourself, right, we're going to take away a massive part of something that people, like, I don't smoke, right, I don't smoke, okay, I hate the smell of it, can't stand it, don't like anybody being near me that smokes, goes from my throat, it is disgusting. But at the end of the day, right, sorry guys, at the end of the day, that apparently it's because, you know, they don't want people, you know, going and smoking because it's bad for you and all this crap. But let's face it, you make your own choices in life. You know what's good and bad for your health. Let's face it, common sense dictates smoking's bad for your health, not smoking is good for your health. Okay, it's called common sense, guys, right? So if you see someone smoking on the TV, that shouldn't make you go out and smoke. You go out and smoke because you want to go out and smoke. So to me, I think that is so ridiculous. So, you know, obviously a little prediction, you know, we're not going to see a lot of smoking in the next season, which, like, I don't care in the sense that I'm not a smoker, so, you know, I'm not going to, like, be like, oh my gosh, I have to see someone smoking on set. But it's just, especially with the time period that this show was set in the freaking 80s, you see that a lot in 80s movies. So it's kind of like, if they're going to take away from the 80s of what the show's about, like things like that, then you may as well start taking away other things like the music and the this and the that. And I know it sounds like it's a small trivial thing, guys, but that bothered me because that's silly. You know, it's almost like you can't do nothing nowadays. You know, they're stopping people, cutting back on people smoking on shows now. I mean, come off it, really. I don't know, but yeah, I think we will see the upside down either way, whatever happens with Hopper. I think there's going to be something there where they're going to be going into the upside down. I definitely think that a lot of the characters will be involved to go in to save Hopper, and also I think characters are going to die in this last season, and I know people probably don't want to hear that and they don't want to maybe accept that, and I think it might even be very, very popular characters as well, and it'll be more than one, could even be 2 or 3 characters, because, you know, we're coming to the last season, so I'm not saying they're going to do it and go all Game of Thrones and go all out like Game of Thrones, but what I'm saying is I definitely predict that there's going to be characters that are going to die in season 4, whether people like it or not. So that is just some random, you know, predictions. You know, I might come up with more as the time goes on, I'm not sure, but that's all that I could sort of think of after I had seen this season. As I say, I have only watched it once, will not be watching it again until probably next Halloween or something like that. To me, it's more something I would watch, you know, at Halloween, and it's the kind of show that I would rather savour the flavour with it. It's not something that I would sit down and watch, you know, again until, say, like probably next Halloween. Might watch season 1 or season 2 or possibly both this Halloween. If I don't get the chance, I'll probably just watch season 1. I don't know yet. But anyways, that's my predictions for Stranger Things season 4. Please let me know down in the comments what your predictions are for season 4. You don't have to agree with my predictions. These aren't predictions in general, obviously. These are just my predictions. Feel free to disagree or agree. But if you have anything different to add or anything to elaborate on, please let me know and I would be really happy to read your comments. Thanks so much for watching, and until my next video, don't forget that the Force will be with you always.